Keeping fish in aquariums has always been a controversial subject, as depending on the conditions, it can be extremely unethical. Looking at you, fish bowls. But if there were ever to be a super controversial fish keeping group, it would have to go to monster fish keepers, which garner a lot of negativity even within the aquarium space. Today, I want to dive into exactly what do people have against monster fish keeping. There isn't a standard set in stone definition for what constitutes someone to be a monster fish keeper. It varies from person to person, which generates a lot of confusion. Taking a look specifically at the fish, a monster fish to someone may require a minimum of 90 gallons, or it might be higher at 200 gallons. Like I said, there's not really a set limit. In my opinion, the minimum space requirement for a monster fish is 90 gallons. That is simply because any fish that requires a whole 90-gallon tank to themselves constitutes a great amount of space and is therefore not a nano or medium-sized fish. These are large fish that often require even more space in order to have tank mates, can be aggressive, and generally shouldn't be kept by beginners. So naturally, monster fish keepers are aquarists who specialize in having these large fish in large aquariums, pools, or even ponds. Often, larger fish are placed in more sparsely decorated tanks with fewer tank mates than traditional community aquarium fish. Monster fish also usually have heightened care needs, larger tanks, heavier filtration, and even live food requirements for certain predatory monster fish. Some common examples of monster fish include arowanas, Oscars, larger bichers, and red-tailed catfish. Some of these monster fish grow absolutely giant, requiring minimum tank sizes of over 300 gallons. Starting with one of the biggest problems, it would have to go to the sheer amount of debate in this sector. And what I mean by that is how much people debate on monster fish care requirements. For example, a huge subject of debate is what is the minimum tank requirement for an Oscar fish. This subject gets tons of debate, with ranges going as high as 125 gallons per Oscar all the way down to 60. Frankly, 60 gallons is absurd, as it's way too small. I'm a believer that 90 gallons is the set minimum, but would be much happier to see Oscars going in tanks above 100 gallons. Either way, topics like this are a big cause for debate, as many fish keepers try to lower that minimum tank size in order to justify their own tanks. Oscars aren't the only fish to have this sort of debate, as pretty much all the monster fish have these little tufts, but it's just more noticeable when you have a monster fish in a smaller tank when compared to nanofish, as, well, the fish just have massive size differences. Tank mates in monster fish aquariums are also a point of controversy, as many monster fish keepers simply cram way too many of these large fish in these spaces. There's plenty of examples out there of just tanks being full with big fish with little to no decoration. And I know there's a reason that the decor can hurt the fish or whatever if they bump into it, but if that's a concern, you probably just have too much fish in too little space. Natural decor is a very important aspect to happy, healthy fish keeping. Decor can allow for beneficial bacteria and microinvertebrates to grow within your tank, and just in general, fish like natural decor. It makes your tanks feel more like their natural environment while providing them ample space to hide and feel safe. The same thing many times cannot be said in monster fish tanks, where decor is sparse and fish are forced to be out in the open 24/7. This can be a death sentence when putting together multiple species of aggressive, large predatory fish. Many of these fish can also be found in standard pet shops being sold to beginners that do not have the right requirements to properly take care of these fish. The final minor point I want to bring up about controversial aspects of monster fish keeping is the live food portion. Many of these fish either need to be trained to take non-live food options or downright require live food. This makes a lot of fish keepers and people in general uncomfortable, as these fish eat other smaller fish, live mice, frogs, and other feeder pet options. While this video may seem all doom and gloom, there is a right way to do all of this. It just requires larger tanks, if not full-on ponds, less cramming of tank mates together, and more natural setups. Fish rescues, like the Ohio Fish Rescue, shout out to them, keep these fish in much better conditions. They also take these fish from owners who, as mentioned before, had them sold, not really knowing how big and extensive their care really was. So fish rescues are usually a great way to go about monster fish keeping. Also, going well above the minimum tank size is a great way to keep monster fish. Ponds and pools also can be a better way in general to take care of these fish while giving them larger spaces, which can let you decorate a bit. Overall, you just need to know that monster fish keeping is not an easy endeavor. It takes a lot of work and money to do it right. And it takes a special kind of person to truly do it well, which unfortunately is not many monster fish keepers out there. And that is why monster fish keeping is so controversial. It's challenging to do and easy to leave fish in frankly poor and saddening conditions. But what do you think of monster fish keeping? Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm personally a nano fish enjoyer, but I tried to be as impartial as possible. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the Patreon, as it helps out the channel a lot, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Take care.